All right. Hi, my name is Katina, and welcome to the Level Up with Katina Talk Show. And I have the most phenomenal R&B artist, I think, on this planet. I'm just saying, you guys. So I'm going to introduce Jayvion, who I met, and I am going to let him introduce himself and kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us first who you are and where you're from, and
My name is I'm Mr. Heavysetsexy, Jayvion McVaden. I'm out of Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm an R&B singer out of Daytona Beach, Florida. I've been doing music since the early '90s when I graduated from high school. I was in and out of singing groups. I've had 3 or 4 different management companies manage me. I've had 2 or 3 different independent labels manage me. I've got 3 or 4 different projects that I put together. I have one project that I just released this year called "This for You." I'm working on another project called Sentimental Music that I'm working on to bring out next year in 2026. I just uploaded my website. My website is www.heavysetsexy.com.
all right.
Everything is heavy set sexy. So it's Javion's world. That's what I do. That's who I am. And I try to make it as easy as possible to find me and get to know who I am as an R&B artist.
Oh, wow. Now that's exciting. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna ask you a little bit about how you became Heavy Set Sexy because when that name came across like the internet and social media, it caught my attention. And so one of the things that I liked about it is that it was unique. It was different from, like other artists with, just the general concept of names. But, the terms of when I went to your website and looked up like your bio and what that stood for, it kind of, it gave me chills because it actually represented you. It represented like, this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be, and this is what I'm reaching for and beyond. And I really like that. So you kind of put that in a circle of yourself. And I like,
Mhm.
you made it out of yourself as an R&B artist. So tell the viewers, what made you utilize Heavy Set Sexy? How did that come about?
Well, I'm a corrections officer by trade. I've been doing corrections for over 21 years. And I'm walking down the hallway. This is some years ago. I'm walking down the hallway of my jail, and one of the other officers was walking towards me, and he just started singing, "Heavy Set Sexy." I'm like, yeah, that's gonna stick. So ever since then, I came up with I tried to brand it to everything I do musically, whether it be merchandise, whether it be music. I try to make it a part of me as a whole. So I'm glad that it's resonating. So that because there's nothing else like it out there. It is original and it definitely tells the story of me as an artist. It's not Heavy Set Sexy is not how I'm built on the outside, but it exudes my creativity from the inside. That's what Heavy Set Sexy is about. Because it's not just about music. It's about everything. I'm dealing with merchandise. I make wine. I do hand scrubs. I do oils, essential oils. They're all signature fragrances that nobody else has those fragrances. I make
Wow.
candles. So it's like, I'm trying to when I do a show, I'm a humbly romantic performer. So when I do a show, I want people to leave that show not only with a memory of something I did or said, but something that I can hand them or they can receive to be able to remember me, a smell, a touch, a rose, anything that they can remember me by is what I try to give them.
Wow. So that's creativity, and I'm gonna tell you why. And so, sometimes, and I can't speak for all artists, we're all different. And so when you look at it, it's kind of like we utilize that creativity, right? So we utilize, who we are in our brand, and then we give back to the audience of what when they walk out of there, you want them to be in awe, not just in playing the music or singing, singing a note or two or whatever. It's about when they walk out of there, they can say, man, that Heavy Set Sexy was, I mean, I remember it, like he gave us this and
Right.
he's got the heart and he done this and he's got, sense. And I like that because you're not doing like a one figure type thing. You're doing like a holistic thing to where it's gonna resonate some kind of way. And I like that. I mean, that's very creative and artistic, actually.
It's different levels and different dimensions of what
Absolutely.
I'm trying to accomplish as far as what I want to present to the world.
Absolutely. And so my next question is, so you talked about the name, and you had a name prior to Heavysetsexy. But as far as how you got into this industry, as far as singing, what inspired you? Like, when did you get started? Like, why did you want to become like a great R&B artist? Because the one song that I totally love is For You. When I tell you I
Hmm.
love that, I love that song. So what made you, want to sing? Like, how did you get started, and what inspired you to do that?
Well, it all started in high school. When I was in high school, I didn't know I could sing. A friend of mine, he came up, there's a talent show there
Mhm.
that they had a male version and a female version. Well, I entered the talent show, my talent then was I was going to memorize the I Have a Dream speech, and
Oh,
and just act it out on stage. But a friend of mine came and told me, "Listen, man, you can sing, man. You should sing." So me and a group of guys, we came up with a dance routine, and I found the song that I could sing, and I almost won. I got first runner up. I didn't win. I got first runner up.
hey, it's all
And
right.
yeah, what I mean. So I was a little upset as a kid, a teenager, high school student. They kind of rubbed me the wrong way because the person that actually won the event broke all the rules. He didn't follow any of the rules of the show. He won the popular vote, and I won the talent vote. So, and from there, I was at, like I said, I was in and out of a couple singing groups, and I did my first solo project in 2002, and I just wanted to. I don't know. It's just been a dream of mine to do music. It's been that way since high school.
Wow. And so you started from high school, and you've been doing music ever since.
Yeah, I'd say I've had managers, I've had labels, I've taken singing lessons. And actually the singing lessons was like the pivot from where I used to be to where I am now, because back then I thought I was the bomb and I really wasn't. So the singing the
Oh,
singing lessons, yeah, the singing lessons really helped. So I took the singing lessons and I still take some just to this day. And I'm trying to develop myself as a performer that's doing things that nobody else is doing or haven't done in a long time. So I'm still developing. So I'm not there yet.
that's, and I love that humbleness about, you as an artist and as a person, because, and then, I don't like name dropping, but I'm going to name drop this one. So, with KennyG, he's very inspirational saxophonist. I mean, just love him. But, what I took from him, and which I'll never forget it, is that it kind of resonates with your words. So it's kind of like he's been doing this for over 45 some odd years, right? And
Mhm.
that mindset of, you know what? I haven't mastered this thing yet. I'm just going to get better and better and better. And although
Right,
he's all this time, it's like he's willing to work to get better and better and better. And it's kind of like what you said. I thought I was the bomb singing until I had to take singing lessons, a whole different thing. I've been there. It's kind of like, oh, like what is that and what's that? And when you think you got it all figured out, you don't. And so
right,
and I like that about you. I like that. So I like that you are looking to like inspire to continue to put that within yourself. So that's great. But you never stop where you are. You still got to keep building and building and building. So
right.
so my next question for you is, so you said you worked with some like management and different other entities. Like, what was that like for you? Like, what was the biggest takeout of it that you had?
I learned I learned how to be humble. I learned that nobody is going to protect your vision the way you will. And it taught me how to react when I can't trust somebody that I work with. I mean,
Yes.
because it's the music business is fickle, it's rugged,
Right.
and there's people out there that say they're gonna do stuff and don't do it. You got people out there that that will take advantage of you just because you don't know what you're doing, and I'm not going to sit up here and say I want to change that, but I do want to bring something different to the table, and being humble and knowing your lane and being able to be knowing how to navigate your own lane and not try to get in anybody else's lane. That's something that all of us as artists have to learn.
Right, right. And it's not about who put out the next song or who's on top, period, because everybody works at their own level and their own pace, right? So
Right.
what you can do, I know I can't do what you do. We all have our own style. We have our own vibe. We have all of that stuff. But when I look at artists like you and Beyonce, whoever, it's kind of like, I would love to be like her, but I know I'm my own authentic self, and I know I can't ever be like her. And that's why the creativity, what you talked about, is more like, the heavy set sexy. I'm doing this from the inside, and whatever I need to do, humbling myself to know that even still, at the end of the day, we got all of this out here. It's very fickle out here. There's a lot. It's just a whole different ball game out here with music. And so I appreciate you for like really like putting this out for the viewers, that it's not a one-stop shop. You have to keep doing different things, bringing new ideas, and not taking other ideas and putting them into effect, and use your own creativity. And I like that. You still have to. Scott.
And it's hard because everybody's original, everybody's trying to be original, and even you got even those individuals that take somebody else's originality and then turn it and try to make it their own. So it's really hard to be original, but I think that it's easy for you to stay true to yourself if
Right.
you if you have the right intentions.
And right intentions, right intentions. And so what have you put out thus far? Tell the viewers, like, what do you have, like, from the past, and then what are you like actually working on in the present as of now, like something you're currently working?
Well, the album I just put out in January is called This For You. I've created a couple of music videos for it, as well as some visuals, to try to give people, an idea of what the songs sound like, how I react to the music that I've created, so that they can maybe engage a little bit more. The project that's coming out in 2026, is called Sentimental Music. The reason why I called it that is because a lot of the songs that I wrote had some type of sexual connotation to it. And another person pointed it out to me, because I'm thinking, I'm just writing about what people deal with on a daily basis. But when I went back and I started listening to a lot of the music, especially the slower songs, almost all of them had something sexual in it. And I'm trying to not do it in this new album, because I want more people to be able to resonate with the stuff that I'm talking about. So that's the purpose of sentimental music.
I like that. Okay. I don't know what just happened. I just got like a prickle or something. Keep going.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like what allergies.
It's okay. I have that effect on everybody. It's okay. I got you. No. No, but it's it's really difficult to, and I don't think a lot of people understand how difficult it is to take a track or a beat and come out of creativity out of thin air.
Absolutely.
And you know what I'm saying? And the courage it takes to put it in a recording, to put it out for people to judge, and to actually take it a step further and get in front of people. What I mean? They think that because they see it on TV, they see it in the videos on YouTube, that, oh, it's easy, but it's not. It's not easy, because that's somebody that came from somebody, and we're giving it to you to be judged. So, I think I'm trying to navigate myself through that as well, not necessarily being nervous, but having an understanding that, and I'm not gonna make everybody happy.
No, no, you're not. You're not. And so go back for just a little bit. So with the criticism, we all get it, whether it's good or bad, or, oh, I don't like that. So when you take something, just say like This For You, that album, and you get good feedback, and you get some feedback that's like, I like it, So how does that turn your vision as an artist? Like, how do you navigate from, okay, man, I really wanted it to be like top notch, but some people didn't like it here. Like, do you let that affect you, or you just keep on moving on? Like, how do you come
I
back to?
work. It makes me work harder.
Yeah.
It gives me fuel, because I want to, if if when I put my album together, I want to do something that could please everybody. If you listen to my album and you listen to the whole entire album, and you can't find one song, one lyric, one hook on the entire album that you can't get with, you can't like, or you don't understand, then that just makes me work harder to do it better the next time.
Oh, wow. I like that. I like that. But in perspective, so it makes you work harder, but deep down, like, do you, like when you kind of take a step back and say, golly, I got to work harder, but like, what am I doing? Like, am I doing something wrong? Am I like, is the R&B like really working for me? Like, do you ever have any insight on like, maybe I could do something else or twist it, or like, what's your thoughts? Like when you work harder, I get that part, but um, when you're like, okay, let me think about this. I put that one out, I'm working harder, and say you put another single out and it's still not getting where you want to be. Like, how does that, like, the next time and the next time, how does that affect you?
Well, music is subjective.
Okay.
If I'm putting my everything into a song no matter what I do.
Right.
And I have to come into this knowing that I'm not gonna make everybody happy. But word of mouth is a beast. If I
Yes.
can get one person talking about what they heard and what I did, if I can get one person talking about it, that's all I need. I'm not looking to, I mean, everybody wants to go to the Grammys, everybody wants to go to the BET Awards, which is where I want to go next year. But it's not a make or break type situation. You know what I mean? I don't take it personal.
Okay.
And again, that just what makes me go to the bat to try to hit a home run on the next swing. And if you may not like the song, because there's and me as a consumer, there have been plenty of songs I've purchased or I've listened to plenty of CDs, and there are songs on each CD or each album that I've ever listened to. There are songs where I'm like, they could have did better than that. Even the ones that some of them brought singles out for, they could have picked another song. But there's something on there that I did like on every CD, no matter what.
Okay.
So that's my goal. My goal is not to make every song a hit. My goal is to get you to like one song. If you can like one song, you'll tell somebody else about that song that you like, just like This For You. You like
Yeah.
This For You.
Yes.
So if you tell somebody, hey, this guy got this song named This For You, go listen to it, and they go listen to it, then maybe they'll share it and 20 other people listen to it. To me, that is the biggest form of flattery and advertisement that any artist could ever have.
Word of mouth. It goes a long way.
Mhm. Yeah.
Regardless of social media or whatever, it does venture off to, lots of people, but that word of mouth is a beast. It's
Yeah.
definitely a beast. Um, so if anyone you could collaborate with, who would you want to collaborate with? What's your dream?
I got three.
Okay,
I got
shoot.
Boys and Men is my all-time favorite group of all
Oh,
time.
oh wow.
So boys, listen, I'm a fan. I'm starstruck when it comes to them. So
Yeah.
Boys and Men, Jamie
Okay.
Foxx, and
Okay.
Tyrese.
Tyrese. Wow. So those three. Now, have you ever met any of them? Or I know
No.
some
Well,
people.
my first concert was a Boys and Men concert here in Daytona. It was MC Hammer's Too Legit tour.
Okay.
So it was Boys and Men, MC Hammer, TLC, and MC Hammer's dancers. They had a rap group called Ho Frat Ho. Well, it was Ho Frat Ho first, then it was TLC,
Mhm.
then Boys and Men performed. After Boys and Men performed, I left. Because I didn't want to see MC Hammer. I didn't go to see MC Hammer. I went to see Boys and Men.
Wow.
And later on that evening, it was at the Ocean Center here on the beach side.
Yeah.
So later in that evening, I went to the boardwalk. With me and a friend of mine, we went to the boardwalk because back then you could play video games and boardwalk stayed open till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And that night I met T-Boz from TLC. She was walking down the boardwalk and she stopped and I guess she was listening to music. She was doing some type of dance. So it was just her and a bodyguard. So the dance that she was doing, I did. Well, I went to like do like a booty bump to it next to her. We danced together for like 2 seconds. And I'm like, wow, okay, that was dope. That was good. So yeah, it was boys. I never met Boys and Men, but if I did, oh boy,
Wow. So those are the three. That's
yeah.
awesome. So let me ask you this. So, out of the history of your music and, things that you've done, so do you have like, tell us a little bit like your concert style, like, are you doing any touring ventures in the areas? Like, what do you have next as far as that is planned? Do you have anything planned for that?
Well, my stage performance, like I said, is humbly romantic. I usually I do roses. I feed ladies strawberries.
Okay.
I've had teddy bears. And next thing I got coming up, July the 20th, in Orlando, 95 South. I'm performing with 95 South. I don't know if you
Saw that.
remember this. Do you know
Yeah.
who they are?
Yeah. I saw that. I saw your thing too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm that's what I got coming up next on
Yeah.
July the 20th.
So how'd you connect with them?
It's me and two other promoters. We all chipped in, and one of the promoters, he's connected. He's got connections on different acts and their prices. So we picked the club in Orlando. He picked that promoter got the 95 South. We all chipped in. The three of
Yeah.
us chipped in. It was an investment, so we all chipped in, and we're getting ready to gear up the advertising for it now, and the rest is it. So hopefully we'll get a good turnout, and we'll be able to rock the stage.
Oh, wow. I did. I saw that. And so would that be on your website or you'll
No,
have it?
not my website, but it's definitely going to be on social media, TikTok, on my Facebook page, my Instagram. It won't be on the website though.
No, so just like social media, like Facebook, Instagram, and all
Right.
those.
Right.
Okay.
Some of those pictures, we're going to take pictures that night. So those pictures will end up on my website, but not really the advertising.
All right. And so are you planning on like what's your like your vision for the next couple of years? Are you planning on going like to different areas, like out of the state, doing touring, concerts, whatever it is that you do, whether it's a venue, like what is your idea on those? Like what are you looking for as far as venturing more out?
Well, I do want to travel to different states. I want to go to Texas. I want to go to California. I want to go to Vegas. I want to go to, and I know one or two people in all of these areas.
Okay.
So I want to be able to. I don't care if it's an open mic. I will sing with a mic and a speaker in the alley for homeless people. I don't care. I just want to. I feel as though the people that are not in my hometown will support me faster than the people here where I live because they see me doing this every day. But the
Yeah.
people they don't know me, they don't know, they don't know me from a can of paint. And I want to get them to learn who I am as Heavysetsexy.
Oh,
So yeah, that's my
absolutely.
plan.
I like that. And so tell the viewers, like for upcoming inspiring artists, like, starting off or, kind of here, like what would you tell them? Because you've been in the industry for a long time. Like what would you tell them as far as like your vision and what you've been through and like steps, like what would you do to inspire them to like not give up or just say, oh, I'm gonna put out a single and it didn't work, so now I don't like it, so what would you tell them? Like what would you say
I'm
to
gonna
them?
try not to be long. I'm gonna try not to be long-winded.
No, go ahead.
Um, um,
What it's about. It's an entrepreneurial R&B journey. So you're good.
right. Learn the business. Because what I see, especially in my area, what I see a lot of artists do is they'll go to the studio, they'll record a song, and then they'll put it out. There's
Right.
no copyrights, there's no publishing, there's no protection, there's no metadata. They don't do anything to protect themselves because they don't have an understanding that okay, if you may have a hot song and everybody think they got a hot song. You may have a hot song, but if I think it's hot and you're not protecting yourself, I could take that song and use it for myself, and there's nothing and get it copywritten, and there's nothing you could do about it because you didn't get it copywritten for yourself. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And then get yourself after you learn the business, get yourself a foundation. You need a website. You need an EPK. You need metadata. Metadata is the whenever you get your song mastered, the information in that song goes with that song and it follows that song everywhere it goes. That's how SoundScan
Yeah.
tracks your
Right.
plays.
Right.
That is how the Billboard charts track your movement. And a lot of local artists or new artists, they don't understand this stuff. I just learned this stuff. So it's like this last album, like ISRC codes. ISRC code
Yeah.
is the number that follows your publishing, so that your radio plays, the publishing company can track your radio plays.
Yeah.
A lot of artists don't understand that. They don't know that. So learn the business, and once you learn the business, don't worry about the shows. Don't worry about the recordings. 'Cause all that stuff is gonna come. Learn the business. Once you learn the business, you can navigate this music industry, and there won't be any issues. Like
Right.
for another example is that I just learned syncing and licensing for TV and movies. TV shows and movies. If you have a beat that you leased, you can't make money off of that. You're leaving money on the table, especially when it comes to publishing, because you can't utilize somebody else's track that's not exclusive to you in a
Yes.
TV show or a movie. Those
Yep.
syncing licenses can give you a check for the rest of your life.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's like, learn the business. You got to learn the business. You can't do it without. You can't have the music without the business.
And so, how did you learn this? Did you just kind of self-taught, like researching, and you felt like, oh, I didn't realize I had to do that, or like, did you have someone to kind of guide you, or you were just like up in the air, like I got to do this myself?
Trial and error. Everything I'm learning now is trial and error. I had a gentleman out of Orlando. He put me on the metadata. He put me on how to utilize publishing. I also went to a couple of music conferences over in Orlando. I just went to a songwriters conference in Orlando where I learned about syncing with
Yes.
the movies and the TV shows. And they had lawyers there. They had actual people who are actually making money to teach us how to make money. They had independent movie directors there. So like, you have to get out and you have to. One thing that I learned, because one of the issues that I've always had was, how do I get past my social media?
Oh, wow.
And
Huge.
right, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you get past your social media? And I learned at that music writing conference that you have, and I already knew it, but it was reaffirmed that you have to get out amongst the people in order for the people to hear who you are.
Yeah.
And it was like mind blown per smoke.
Would you do that? So that's not a
Well, I
uncommon.
do it more. I do it more now because,
Yeah.
like, I'm in. If there's an open, if I'm off work and there's an open mic, I'm there. I don't care if it's only two people show up and I'm the second person to walk through the door. I am there. And there was one open mic that I went to like 2 months ago. It was a local guitar player. He was a white guy, and I guess he does like pop folk stuff, and it was only like four people there, and I was number five. But he let me sing, and and I gained like three fans that night.
So you never know. You never
You never
know
know.
who you will meet. So, getting yourself out there and actually doing it is the whole key. And I like how you express to these younger, thriving, artists, they put out a track and, it's like, okay, but they don't know the business part of, like, if you want to survive off of that track, you got to make sure you understand the business. And that's in
Yep.
any music.
Yep.
Business that is a beast. I mean, we live it, we know it, and it's not easy. And so for someone to just put something out and just say, it'll work. You may have that one hit wonder. Some people get lucky that way, but unfortunately, you still got to work hard. You got to work hard. It's
See,
business.
and see, the artists, they see the glitz, they see the videos getting 5 million views, and they in the studio when they're in the booth, they think, oh, this going viral, and they get out there and they get 5 hits and 5 views, and then get discouraged. You don't know why, because you're not pushing it.
Right, right. And with that being said, the R&B talk show, Rashad. I'm gonna put his name.
Mhm.
second, awesome guy. And what he does is that, and he's met the greatest of the greats, you know. And the thing
Yeah.
about it, look at like inspiring artists like us that want to get out there and, you know, get ourselves out there. Like number one, like you said, it's not all about the glitz. Like, oh, I want to be the next star. It's about continuing to work hard and work hard. And so what I love about what he does is that he looks at inspiring artists like us and he promotes us, you know. And he doesn't have to do that. He could do his own
Nope.
thing. You know, I'm doing my own thing. I want to get, you know, my stardom and my fame. But I tell you, one thing about this man is that he's very humble, because not like just myself or you. I mean, he's doing this with a lot of artists, and he's doing it with a lot of artists that are actually, you know, here. And I like that.
Mm-hmm.
People don't take their time out to do that. But for him to do that, I mean, it's amazing. So you connect with people like him and yourself, and you go from that. And we learn from each other. You know, a lot of times people won't give you that information, but just like, you know, I learned something from you, you may learn something from me, you know. And you know, Scott,
Right.
but for him to do actually what he does, I commend him for that, because he doesn't
I,
have to.
I I love him to life. I mean, because this he's not only is he humble, he's honest. If it's
Honest.
something he don't like, or if it's something he don't like about you, he gonna tell you. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of young folks. They need that. They need to hear that, because they, like, again, they think they can just get in, and because their song could be hot. They just think that everybody's just supposed to. No, it don't work. The music business don't work that way.
No, it doesn't. And the thing about it is he's been in the mixture. He's been doing it, I think he over 30 some odd years or 25 years. And
Yeah.
what can happen, and he knows it. And for him to keep, you know, myself humble, and yourself, and to say, hey, this is the way I know. Like, you can go out there and get all your clicks and your what do you call it? Bots to, you know, promote your song. But at the end of the day, you want to be genuine. You want those views coming in from genuine, real people that listens to your.
Hmm.
At the end,
Right.
it will affect you when you think you got 500,000 viewers, but in reality they're, you know, bots or whatever. And they're not the real people. And then you say what happened on the next song. You know, it hurts you in the long run.
Yeah, you're right.
And he puts it on the table for you, literally puts it on the table. He will not tell you anything you don't want to hear. And if you don't want to hear it, then, you know, don't listen to him. But, you know, people like him and you and, you know, around the globe, you want to listen to people that's been there and done that.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely.
you really do, because the bottom line is humbling yourself and making sure that you get the nuggets you need to protect yourself and learn from the people that are going to get you there. I'll take that any day over just glitz and fame. Any day,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
any day. Oh, so, man, I am like so excited. When I put this together, and I was like, I got to get him on my show, because you're like Rashad as well. You know, genuine. You know, you're telling people what they want to hear. You're not hiding like, oh, I'm not gonna tell people. You know, they don't need to know this. You know, I'm gonna do my thing because I want to, you know, get out there and, you know, be the next, you know, Johnny Gill. I don't know, but you're
Yeah.
not. And I look for people like yourself, because this world needs genuine, trustworthy, honest people that got you and you got them. So I appreciate
Right.
on my show. And of course, you know, I'll send you the review. And I just want to thank you for just taking your time just to kind of be here. And it's exciting. I got excited about your wine tasting the other day. I was like, oh my God, I wish I was there. How did it go? How did it go?
It was great. It was the flavor that I had was green apple, and I gave like a small presentation of how I make it, so that the people here can get an understanding of what the process is without giving away too much of the information.
Yeah.
And there was a woman that came. She bakes. She has her own baking business, and she made these. It were cinnamon apple cupcakes. They had like cinnamon apples in the middle,
Wow.
and it was the frosting was buttercream, and it had like it was a cinnamon caramel. It was but it had a salty taste to it. And she brought these little squeezers, like if you wanted to infuse the wine into the cupcakes. Oh my God, it was so good. Yeah.
What? What
It
do you guys
was so good.
have?
Yeah, it was so good.
You know, did
Yeah,
she do
so
um what do you call it? Kickoff parties. Like, can we get her to get us to get some of that? Get your wine and her little stuff going on there. That's like a really nice
Well,
little.
I mean, she could probably like bake some and maybe put it in the
Yeah,
mail, but I don't know how it'll last in the mail.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it was good.
Where's she from?
She lives maybe like 45 minutes from me.
So in the Florida
Hmm.
area. Oh,
Hmm.
wow. That's something. Did you take? I mean, like, how was it? Did it the
Oh,
flavor?
well, I didn't infuse the wine,
Okay,
but you know, 'cause none of us did, but she just made it. She left it as an option. But
gotcha.
the cupcakes were amazing. I mean, of course, she uses a lot of icing, but they were really good. Like the cinnamon apples in the middle is like really good surprise because you don't know they're in there when you look at them.
Did you take like pictures of it, or like you
Well,
have pictures?
we took some pictures. We didn't take pictures of like the inside of the cupcakes or nothing, but we took pictures of the I took pictures of the wine bottles. I took pictures of the setup. So, and I think I posted them on my page.
Oh man, I gotta see. I thought I saw. Maybe I don't know, but I mean that sounds kind of good. I mean, I've never heard of that part. Does she have her own bakery or like
Well,
a shop?
she, she does it from home. She doesn't have a bakery itself. She does it from home. So she's like, she's doing the same thing I'm doing as far as the merch is concerned. But with her baking, she makes cakes, cupcakes. She does like all kinds of different desserts.
Wow, wow.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about your merch. Like, tell us like what do you have? Like, what are you promoting and what's upcoming for your merch?
Um, I have um, well, one of the things that I have is oils.
Uh-huh.
They're fragrance oils. And the reason why I say their signature, I take four different fragrance oils and I mix them together to make one scent so that nobody else has that scent. I have two different scents that I made that I put together, and I put those two scents together to make hand scrubs where you wash your hands like so it makes your hands soft and they're soft. They clean your hands, surprisingly, and the essential oils make you keep your hands moist. Um, yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. I have candles.
Okay.
The and what I've done with the candles, some of the scents, well, some of the essence oil that for candles, I did the same thing with them. I mixed them together to make one scent, and I got different candle. I've used different candle containers like jars, but the ones that I have now I think are working for me. I got them off Amazon. I have a logo that let me see a logo that I did. This logo I'm finna show you was hand drawn, and
I use I
no. I wish if I could do that, I'd be woo. But no, it's my idea. But
okay.
all of it's my idea. But let me see if I can. No, that's not it. I don't know if you've seen the picture of the teddy bear.
I did not.
You did not. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try to turn the camera around so you can get an idea. Oh, there it is. See the teddy bear?
Oh, wow. How
Now that was hand drawn for me.
oh,
So the teddy bear, see, that's me. That's me being Heavysetsexy, of course. The baby bottle. Back when I started in high school, my stage name was Baby Boy,
I
but I had
remember.
to change it. I had to change it because of Baby Boy the Prince. So I had to change it, and that's where I came up with Jayvion. So that's paying homage to that. The
Oh,
mic that's an old studio mic. Um, the hat, I have a hat just like that. So I
oh,
wanted this particular hat because it's my hat. I have a hat just like that. that has it's a brown J on the front of it. And the sunglasses, that's my signature. When I perform, I'm always wearing sunglasses. So everything about this bear is Heavysetsexy.
Oh, wow. Now, so is the hat, is that on your merch?
No,
Is that
no,
on?
no. That's one of the hats that I wear.
Okay. Wow.
The kind of hats that I had, they're not, well, they're fishermen's hats, but that's what old school hip hop artists used to wear back in the day when they were doing shows and stuff or they're performing. They're old
Yeah.
school hip hop hats.
Wow. Wow. Now, did you meet Public Announcement or did you perform with them?
I met them.
You met them.
Um,
What
oh
was
yeah,
that?
back when they were their first, then when they came out with their first album,
Yeah.
there was a club. Used to be a club in Orlando called Cheek to Cheek, and
Okay.
it was them, John B. and Keith Washington. They performed in the same show,
Wow.
and I actually the lead singer of Public Announcement. I met him because I walked up to him to ask him who his management was. And he told me to look at the back of the album because his manager all the information is on the back of the album. But I never called him, so
You didn't.
nah, I didn't call him.
You
Cause
didn't call.
that was back before the singing lessons days. No, I didn't call
You're like, if I call him now, I
him.
may call back.
Yeah, yeah, that'd have been a bridge I would have burnt severely. I didn't even do it. No.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
so when you look at your R&B and your singing, like what does it mean to you? Like, what is it? Like, is it like your like the voice, like your voice? Is it captivate? Like, is it just you in general? Like what's inside of your head? Like, okay, so when I sing, this is what I feel. This is like who I am. Like, what kind of style do you have?
Well, I mean, everybody tells me that my music sounds like it should have been back in the '90s.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
like because I
yeah,
have that feel, and
yeah.
it never fails. Like when any song I've done, I always get that feedback. Oh, this sounds like a song that should have came out in like the '90s, early 2000s.
It
Like,
does. Thumbs
and
up. Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. I like that. So that's the like, that's the. I used to didn't like my voice, listening to my voice and record, because I hear it in my head one way, and it always comes out a different way from
yeah.
where I hear it in my head. So now I've kind of gotten, being in the studio, because being in the studio is different from performing. Those two mics are different things.
Totally different.
So I have to learn how to, I'm still learning. I have to learn how to utilize the mic that's in front of me in a way that's best suited for that situation. Like if I'm on stage and I got a mic, I know that I can pretty much go anywhere I want to go. But if I'm in the studio, I'm stuck. I got to stay right there. And my movement is going to dictate,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Not the movement of the mic, but the
Yeah,
movement of myself is going to
yeah.
dictate. So I had to learn. It's stuff and I'm still learning about that, but I'm getting a lot better
Yeah.
acclimated with my own voice.
Well, and the thing about it too is you not only that, but like when you look at some of the well-known artists or instrumentalists or whoever, you're right. It's also the mic, but instruments, but it's also the venue. And what people don't understand is that venues that you go to, the acoustics or the sound or how big it is, how small it is, and how you're adjusting your voice is totally different. And people think I could just go to a venue and just sing. It doesn't work that way. It really
So
doesn't that way because if you have a small room that's like out there and the acoustics are all over the place, your voice is still not going to carry to the sound the way you want it to be. And
right.
sometimes discouraged because they're not sounding the same like they would be in a studio. So you're absolutely right. And so the main thing I think the takeaway that viewers, listening for us is that everything is an adjustment. Everything is you got to keep going to the next and going to the next and adjusting to that. Not everything is always the same. Never the
And
same.
you have to think about the DJ or the sound man as well, because his equipment could be out of whack or not right. So another thing that one of the things that you could tell, you can give advice to the younger artists or new up and coming artists is sound check. I'm always on time. I'm never late. And when I'm late, I am pissed at myself but I'm
Yeah.
always on time. I'm most of the time I beat the promoter and the business people there. I'm first because I want to make sure if there's a sound check available, I want to be first. I want to get my sound check out of the way. I want to make sure everything sounds the way I need it to sound before I go up there. So that's very important. That's another aspect of sounding
Huge.
or having your voice sound the way it needs to sound.
Huge. It's so huge. You know, the tours that I go to, every single show, he's there by noon or ish. I don't care if the show started yesterday or the day before at 8 o'clock. There, because it's so important. Like you said, everything that you master, that's all you internally. But when you get out here to these venues, anything can happen. Faulty equipment, your guitar doesn't work, whatever it may be. And so that sound check, I think, besides the artist, is the most number one important thing for anybody at this point. I don't care
And
where.
what I do when I don't have a sound check, well, I do what I do it whether I do or don't, but I sing a cappella. So if and I have a few songs in my repertoire that are like a minute long where I can go in and I can sing and I'll let the audience know, hey, listen, I didn't get a sound check. Can I get a sound check right quick? And then I'll sing. That's not only to do a sound check for myself, but also to let the audience know that regardless of what they hear coming out of the speakers, they gonna know I know how to sing.
And this is what I sound like originally. I don't sound like a
Right.
barking animal down the street there. That is very important. And, you know, as we come across, like people in our lifespan and, artists and, whoever, I always try to, help them understand that no matter artist, whatever your profession may be, everything that you put into something has got to be your 110. It can't be half A done. It can't be that, I'll go in there and make it work because I'm the greatest. At some level and point in your life, it's going to come back to that number one thing. You got to put in
Yeah,
the effort in order to get the results. Period.
absolutely.
Period. So, wow, this has been like a great. Oh my gosh, I've been excited. I've been waiting for this day. I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait for this day. Amazing things in your career. I know you talked about little times of stepping back and getting back in. We all do that. We have multiple things on the plate, and we do that, and we come back to what we love, and that's music. Definitely.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons that I'm going to bring this up for me is that I started my own record label company and the management is because when we talk about the things we're talking about here for young, inspiring artists or anybody for that matter, they don't know where to go. And as you learn and as you can help them grow, the business is a lot safer and better place is what I call it. Because, at this point, you have nothing, you have nothing to, for me, I have nothing to gain from it. I love what I do. I love helping others. I love inspiring others and putting this company together. I think I know, so I'm gonna use your words that, you say, let's get it. I know that I won't be like Sony Music or whoever, but I want to be someone that can be remembered as, this lady started this, for management and the record label, and she helped us along the way. We didn't know, that we were supposed to do this first, or we didn't know that we had to get out and do this, and all the nuggets and stuff that we learned, it's because this company took the time to help us and not just throw us out there and just say, here, go get it while we make get your percentage. And so that's
And
what
you
I
know
want.
what? That's what's missing in the
Yeah.
music industry because back in the day, there used to be a thing called artist development. You know what I'm saying? And record labels don't do that anymore. They don't want to spend the money to develop artists, and they're failing to understand that the ones that they spent that money on are the ones that are still coming out with music today that got that longevity.
Yeah.
And no, it's like to me that's what I get from it when I want to I want my company to help artists develop. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In order for me to be able to do that successfully, I have to do it successfully for myself.
So,
And I
yeah.
want to. We need artist development. I need somebody that's gonna help me put together an outfit that's gonna make me look my best. Because what I think might look my best might not be that. I need somebody that's gonna help me be in the
Right?
studio. That's gonna help me put me on my right note. I need somebody that's gonna tell me to put your chin down and put your shoulders back at a photo shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like record labels don't do that anymore. And that is, I think to me, that is the biggest asset that an artist can have because without that, you got artists that's walking, rappers that's walking around here with their pants hanging off their butts. Their hair look all whacked out, and they're using all kinds of N words and cuss words, and you know what I'm saying. And there's no, and you can look at an artist and tell there's no development there, and that irks me so bad because I feel as though the hip hop industry and the art, like everybody says R&B is dead, right? I
Wow.
think that the reason why R&B and people feel like it's dead is because one, it's expensive. It takes money
I mean,
to be able to go into the studio and harmonize, do backtracks, do lead vocals, dub lead vocals, mix down lead vocals and mix down harmony tracks and that takes money. It's expensive as opposed to a hip hop artist that can go in there and do 3 songs in 2 hours. You,
right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
And then the R&B, it to me, in my opinion, is not in good hands. It's not.
I
With the engineers, these young engineers that feel like auto tuning is supposed to help somebody sound good. I hate auto tuning. I hate it.
yeah,
It's like when I come across engineers that try to auto tune my music or try to auto tune my vocals, I don't mess with them no more because I know how to sing.
right.
And auto tuning, when you auto tune and and you get all those effects in the studio and you get on stage, you sound like crap.
I
You
mean,
know,
it's the
yeah,
truth.
you know what I'm saying, and that comes from not having any artist development.
Right.
Artist, artist, somebody that has been on stage that know what it's like to get your sound right, to make sure your music sounds right. When I go to shows, the one thing I listen to is the other artist tracks. If you have tracks,
Yeah,
they sound muffled, they don't sound quality, they don't sound mixed. They're performing over their tracks, which I do that as well, but
yeah.
I sing over my tracks. I don't just let the track perform for me.
Before you, exactly,
You know
exactly,
what I'm
exactly.
saying? So it's like the artist development is solely seriously missing.
I
And
like
like I
that.
said,
You're right. I didn't even think of it that way, and that was part of that development process. You know that it
yeah.
it's not, it's not. And when I met you, I was like, and we talked. It was kind of like, we're talking about things that's not there. Like back in the day, I'll just take for instance, New Edition. I don't know. I'm just throwing
Oh,
some
oh,
stuff.
oh, you beat me by 2 seconds. You beat me by 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
New Edition. I tell you what, between Boys and Men, New Edition, as far as when you look at development, it kind of resonates. Music is everything for me because it's when you hear the words, a lot of times it's like, oh, they're singing about somebody. No, it's not. It's all about what's here and what you're feeling. It's not about, oh, I love somebody, and then, I don't, it's more about the development of, what, if this person is here and I hear a song and I'm like, okay, well, that's sounding a little too like you're kind of sounding like you're like, depressed about, or anything, and a lot of times people want to sing from like experiences and things like that. And you do whatever it is that you want to do. But when we talk about that development phase, that New Edition and that Boys to Men, for them to be as young as they were starting off and where they became as I'll call them the most reputable, R&B groups or whatever, around this earth. That development, you can tell whoever they had starting off in their career gave them some sense of, well, what do I want to call it? Growing up of age. So they
Yeah.
weren't out there doing all those things like you saying with your pants down and it's not all about that. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes that's part of the act. But for them to be where they are and how they develop and they never change, I mean, I respect them so much because their development, whoever it was, hats off to them.
And then, like when you look, and I know it's probably going to be against the norm to say, but look at Puff Daddy, right?
Yeah.
Puff Daddy, I auditioned with you. Have you ever heard of Making the Band?
Yes.
Okay, I auditioned his group, his male singing group, Day 26, right? I auditioned for that group. Now that
Wow.
show, Making the Band, yeah, I auditioned. I made it to the third round of the
Third
audition.
round. Okay, that's them. Okay.
Yeah, so the back when he was developing like the band, making the Day 26 and the female group, Danity Kane, when he was back during that time, although you it- all those shows that he did, all that
Yeah.
stuff he did in those shows, that was artist development. He was making them dance, he was making them exercise, he was making them go into the studio, he was putting them against it. That was artist development. Like, even though like I said, I don't want to talk about what he's going through today.
Right. Right. Right.
What I'm
Right.
talking about is the method of having a vocal coach. He had a
Right.
vocal coach in there with them. He had a performance coach in there with them. He had a choreographer in there with them. He made them work out. He made their look. He had a stylist. He put everything into them, regardless of what they did with it. He put everything into them, and
That's right.
that was the way the music business was back then, and they got away from that because they don't want because to me I feel like they did too many with young people. They got like 23, 24 year olds, and they're trying to make them viral. They're trying to make them hot. When you got people that's my age that are humble, that have the mindset, that don't want to come out here and waste time. And all that, you know what I'm saying? It's artist development is so needed right now. I cannot stress that enough. It really
I
is.
I agree. You know, whether it's half this or half that, at the end of the day, where you take and where you lead is where you follow. And if you don't
Yeah,
have some point you're going to be here, at some point you're going to stay right here, and that's where you're going to stay. Because once you hit a certain point, no matter what profession you're in, and you don't have that development, I don't care what it is, you're going to always be right here. You know,
yeah,
you gotta have it. I mean, you gotta have it in everything you do, and you gotta have the mindset to want to do that. You know, like
yeah,
going to the sound checks, early, and making sure things are right, and making sure the venues are right. That's part of just greatness. That's part of being smart. That's part of being like, you know what? Whatever I put out, whether there's some fault here or some fault there, I'm going to still make it sound good at the end of the day because I came in and took the time to know what it was. I did my 110, and anything after that, we're human. Instruments fail, voices kind of crack, hey, that's part of life, but we
right.
go on with it. But at least you know that every single event that you do, every concert, every tour, that sound check, I'm there. I'm making sure that whatever I spit out or whatever I play is going to be to my perfection at the end of the day, whether you like it or not. Oh well, but at least I know that when I came in there, I made sure that my business was done at the end of the day.
And people see that.
Yeah,
People
and they
people
expect
watch
it.
and yes, they see that. And then when it comes time to the point where you're an artist, where you're trying to get paid and you're trying to make money, you can't do that.
Because they're gonna go say, I remember when y'all came in here and y'all just came up and threw up and some stuff and came and started singing and didn't even bother to take the time out to even kind of make
And,
sure that you're on point. I don't like that
and then
because a lot of people want professionalism. When you're paying a lot of money to come to somebody's place, and that's their business and their reputation, you want to represent who you represent because I won't want you back there if you wasn't.
right. And they or the ones that come in there, they do their thing and they leave.
And
Oh,
they
that
leave.
irks me to no end.
Yeah.
That irks me.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they, get out, because we got to break things down or that. But when they leave, but not taking the time out to know
Yeah.
know your audience, or even make it a point to even want to take the effort to like be, like, hey, I want to get in
'Cause
there. Sure, I'm good. I
those
respect
people
someone
paid to see you.
to see you.
Artist development. Artist
Yep.
development.
You know what? I'm pinning that. I'm going to pin that, and I'm going to use that for the rest of my days because everything you do development wise is where you're going to be at the end.
Yeah.
Oh man, wow, it's so awesome. We're gonna have to do a take two on this one. I
I'm
mean, because
ready.
oh my
I'm ready
God,
whenever you are. Let's do it.
so talented, and thank you so very much. And then, we'll talk about what we're planning to do. So I can't wait for that. And I just appreciate you being on this show. And how can our viewers reach you? Tell us
Um,
how we can reach you.
I have a one-stop shop for everything. www.heavysetsexy.com. My
Okay.
Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter, my
Okay.
Facebook, all my Spotify. A couple of places where you can purchase the album. And I just put I have Printify that is starting some merch. So I have there's a blanket with the bear you saw. There's
Yes.
a blanket with the bear on there. I got a couple of shirts. I got a hat that say "Let's get it." Got a coffee mug. I got merch on there, so you can go on that site and you can start purchasing that merch. Of course, the merch that I have with me, it's gonna be a little different. But you
Okay.
can go on there, and as time goes on, I'm gonna be putting other stuff up. I even got I think it's an iPhone 16 cell phone case with my bear on it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
so
Wow.
just say, yeah, heavysetsexy.com. You can find everything you need right there.
I know that was so when I clicked on it, actually when I clicked on it, I was like, wow, I love this. And I'm still in the development of my, record label. I have to get all that, legally, I have to get it all squared away and make sure we're good. So
Right.
that'll be coming around the works as well. But until then, the management and moving on with that is going to be phenomenal because, like you said, that development is everything. It's
Mhm.
everything. And just meeting people and working with new inspiring artists or whoever, not even new, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting.
I'm
So,
looking forward to seeing the progress.
oh, thank you so much. Oh, hey, don't you worry. I'm like, hey, did you see that? You know, you know what we talked about.
Yeah, I don't like to assume. I just,
No.
I'm looking forward to seeing the progress. It is what it
All
is.
right, absolutely. Thank you for being on my show, and then we'll have to do a part two, and then I'll get this clipped and I'll send it to you, and I'll be seeing you on social media, and I'll be talking with you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much
being
for
on my
having me.
show.
Thank you so much. I
You're
love you
so
to life.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon, and thank you,
All
and
right.
have a blessed one, and stay cool out there because it's hot out there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower right now.
All right. Tell your family, wife, hello. Thank you for being on the show because you know
Thank
that
you.
family time is everything. So I appreciate that. So thank your family for the support of me and my talk show, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.